What is going on, guys? It's coming at you with a video, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Relinquished deck profile. Now I kind of updated this deck profile to make it a little quicker, meaning that I kind of worked on the deck. I tried a few different builds, tested it out with friends, and I resulted, you know, I like this Relinquished build a lot better than the original one I had posted. So if you guys are fans and you guys subscribe by watching that video, thank you so much. I appreciate you. This video is for you guys, but for the most part, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, think about joining the Tier 0 family. I'd love to have you. I do sometimes discussions, I do deck profiles, I do things like that. I'm gonna get into making videos a lot more consistently, but for the most part, deck profiles are kind of what I'm gonna be doing for the future. So if there's anything you want to watch, let me know. I'd love to. I actually like working on my decks, the decks that I play, making them a little bit better for the most part. I think I made Relinquish a little bit better in comparison to the previous deck profile I posted, and maybe you guys will see that, and I'm gonna explain the card choices and what I think makes it a little better than the previous one. For the most part, let's get into the deck profile. We play 40 cards in the main deck and only 10 cards in the extra deck because I really don't think Relinquish needs that many cards in the extra deck. The ones you play are pretty much just archetype based and things like that. So there's like some wiggle room for you guys. If you guys are building this deck, let me know in the comment section below what you guys play in your extra deck after watching the video or right now. For the most part, let's get into it. Triple Relinquish, because this is what this deck is based around. For the most part, he pretty much just takes a monster your opponent controls. The most he could be equipped with is 1, so that's kind of sucky. I wish he could have been equipped with multiple. For the most part, he's a ritual monster, so you need his ritual spell. But what makes this Relinquish deck a little bit better is that it has disruption, and what makes that disruption a little bit better is Millenniumized Illusionist. He's basically relinquished from hand, so they can't really Ghost Ogre your Relinquished. So he's pretty cool. I don't like that he doesn't really have attack, but if Relinquished is a special summon, so what you can do is like special summon Relinquish using the ritual, pitch this guy to summon Relinquish, and you basically get him back to hand. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool interaction that I'm pretty sure all Relinquish players should know at this point. So what I feel really speeds this deck up is the Predaplan engine I included. So I played 3 Orphis Scorpio and 1 Darling Cobra. And what this basically does is normal summon this, discard a Relinquished, for example, get your Relinquished fusion, that special summons this Darling Cobra, and Darling Cobra is actually the one who gets you the fusion. What he does is he special summons Predaplan monster from the deck. So discard a card off his effect, special summon this. This lets you get the fusion spell trap, the fusion spell. So you add a Relinquish fusion, and basically since you discarded a Relinquish, you can instantly go into Millenniumize Restrict. So that's pretty cool. This deck it kind of just gets you quicker to Relinquish fusion, or you could even discard a Relinquish fusion to have like an extra Relinquished effect, something like that. So that's basically how this speeds up. It just gets you Relinquish fusion faster and gets cards in the graveyard you might want in your graveyard. Next, we play 2 Eater of Millions because he's an absolute beast. If you guys are picking up if you guys are picking up, they most are level 1s, and what you do is you basically banish 5 cards from your extra deck. You banish 5 cards from your extra deck because you don't want to banish anything from your hand, and he basically gains 100 attack for each banished face down card. So if you special summon him banish 5, he's already walking in at 500 attack, and once per turn, whenever he attacks, he basically like instantly banishes that card face down. So you could attack into, for say, let's say a Masterpiece isn't immune to monsters, you could attack Masterpiece if they don't pop it, and banish that Masterpiece face down. He's a really easy to special summon, and he pretty much outs almost anything, so that's pretty awesome. So you play 2 Eater of Millions. You play Triple Manju of the 10,000 hands because he basically can add Relinquished or the Relinquished ritual spell, so not much to say there. Kinko Bio is actually one of my favorite cards because when you normal summon him, he can special summon any level 1 from your graveyard. So you can special summon Relinquished. Even if you didn't properly special summon it, you can special summon Eater of Millions. You can special summon any level 1 in your graveyard, even Millenniumized Restrict, and it basically stays there. But since he's a spirit, he pretty much bounces back to your hand for you to like Monster Reborn another level 1. So Kinko Bio, I'm really happy that they reprinted this because this card used to be $10 actually, if you guys didn't know, in super rare. So having it in common is a really cool commodity that I'm so glad we have now. So thank you Konami for that. But for the most part, he's basically your Monster Reborn for level 1 monsters. Next, we play like a really small Kaiju lineup. We play pretty much each one, like if you draw multiple, pretty much each of these guys can like beat each other over. So you'll always give your opponent the weaker one. But the reason I don't play Allure of Darkness in this deck is because I like having even though Allure is a great draw card, I don't really agree having to play multiple Radiant. I really want to be able to take my opponent's Kaiju, give myself a Kaiju, and basically do damage like that. So I play 3 Kaijus. And I feel that having these are actually my favorite because I can give my opponent the strong one, take the strong one, give myself the weak one, or give my opponent the strong one, give myself the weak one, and basically just like have that interaction. But for the most part, you play these 3 kaijus. You can pretty much feel free to play any kaijus you want. I just found it best when I play these because, for example, if you give your opponent the 3300 and you take it with Relinquished, now you have a 3300 Relinquished as opposed to when I used to play Gamma Seal and have a 2200 Relinquished. That's basically my ideology behind that. So I just feel it's a little bit better playing the stronger kaijus. So I play these 3, so 3 kaijus. Next we play 2 Ash and 2 Ogre for a reason I really don't have to explain. Ash is a great card and Ogre is a great card in this meta. Pretty much Electromite and any draw card, so it just has more. It just adds more disruption to the deck. And I honestly, if you guys can afford Ash, you can probably pick up Drone Lockbird, which is just as almost as powerful as Ash. If you're if you're thinking about drawing things like that. For the most part, these cards are kind of hard to sub in. But I'd recommend getting yourself the Ash Blossom. The price did go down, so Ash Blossoms and 2 Ghost Ogres. 1 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber because board wipes are important, and you want to give yourself a kaiju and your opponent a kaiju, so you could take it with Relinquished, or basically just give your opponent the weaker one to beat over it, of course. And you want to give yourself 3 Preparation of Rites because Preparation of Rites adds Relinquished and it adds Black Illusion Ritual, which lets you summon Relinquished. Now that's basically it for this little portion. I recommend playing 3 and 3 because again you could discard it off the Predaplan engine, which you do see consistently, to add Relinquished Fusion. And what this does is pretty cool. So it special summons Millennium Eyes Restrict, and in the graveyard it serves as Relinquished effect, so that's pretty cool. But what you have to do is banish a card, so you could banish effect monsters you control or that are in your graveyard or in your hand even. So you could banish a Relinquish from your hand to special summon Millennium Eyes Restrict. So but that's why the Predaplan engine is so awesome in this deck, because you can add a Relinquished off the Darling Cobra, send the Darling Cobra and the Relinquished in your hand, banish them, special summon Millennium Eyes Restrict, which is this guy. And I just want to explain why this card has the second effect that it does. Millennium Eyes Restrict doesn't have the Relinquished effect where it gets to take a monster just like that. He has the effect that when a monster activates its effect, it's able to take it. But what Relinquish Fusion does, it gives them that Relinquished effect without the Relinquished downside of being Ogred or Strike. Your opponent can't strike Relinquish Fusion, so when this is in the graveyard during your main phase, you can banish it to equip, pretty much take an opponent's monster. This is like the Relinquished effect, and it gives it to Millennium Eyes Restrict. So it has the good side is that your opponent can't Ogre it, your opponent can't strike your Millennium Eyes Restrict. The downside is that it's only during the main phase, and it's not like I wouldn't say it's not like it makes Millennium Eyes Restrict a little bit weaker, but you pretty much have the ability to take a monster, and you could equip multiple monsters to Millennium Eyes Restrict. So you kind of want to see this card all the time because you'll see Relinquish like that. You'll be able to search it with Manju, add it with pre-prep. So you want to play triple of this to make this guy as fast as you can. Have this in the graveyard and have that interaction. Remember that you could activate this during your opponent's turn because it is a quick play and it is in your graveyard. Next you play 2 Instant Fusion. I don't play 3. I don't really want to see 3. But 2 Instant Fusion for reasons I'll explain later. 2 Pot of Desire because you play 3 of almost everything, so you kind of just want cards in your hand. 1 Upstart Goblin and 1 Monster Reborn because Conductor, again, I always say it is my favorite card to bring back, but pretty much just bring back any card you want. Most of the time you'll be going into your opponent's graveyard because your monsters aren't really that strong. So 1 Monster Reborn. That kind of wraps it up for the 40 card main deck. Now let's talk a little bit about the extra deck. I play triple Millennium Eyes Restrict. I already explained his effect. He's a fly trap. He can pretty much take any cards that activates effect. He doesn't have the Relinquished effect that he can take a monster by using his effect. He doesn't have he's relinquished, but not really relinquished. He's when, just imagine Relinquished, but an effect has to activate. So that's the only way he can take a monster. Plus that's his downside. The good side is multiple monsters can be equipped to him. So the strongest I've honestly made him, I've taken 2 Blue Eyes and I think an alternative, so he was 9,000. This guy can get really strong. He can take a lot of cards, so that's really cool. You really don't need more than 2, but I just have 3 because I picked it up and I thought I'd go into 3 consistently. But honestly, you'll go into 1 most of the time. 2 if the duel really lasts that long. But I never really have gone into 3. But it's always good to have it if you need it. But honestly, if you guys are buying it, just buy 2. You'll be fine. 1,000 Eyes Restrict for that instant fusion, and you play 1 Link Karibo. I wish I had 2, but most of the monsters are level 1, so he serves like a defense because he can tribute himself and turn your opponent's monster to attack to 0. so your monster will be able to beat over whatever. Next, you play one Panzer because again instant fusion and its popping effect. The Utopia, the lightning packet, because Manju is a level 4, and if you use instant fusion, you can spell summon Carbonala Warrior and go into Utopia the lightning. So that pretty much puts the card at a 10 card extra deck. Now I put any 5 like extra deck cards in the extra deck just basically for Eater of Millions, but most of the time those 5 cards I recommend putting in are gonna be the ones you don't really use. So you could even put like 3 Utopias and 2 Utopia Primes and just use those to banish off Eater of Millions. You most of the time really won't use. Like I'll recommend having a 15 card extra deck just to banish those 5 off Eater of Millions. But that pretty much wraps it up for the extra deck. So you can put any remaining 5 card you want, or you'll feel that you can utilize in your deck. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys played or what you guys would play to give me some ideas. I'd really appreciate it. That's pretty much it for the deck profile, guys. I thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video. Are there any cards you'd play? Relinquished is honestly one of my favorite. Like, Relinquish is honestly a really fun deck to play because of how disruptive it has become. I really do like the support. I really don't like that it's really like it's up there in price right now. But if you guys can hold off or get yourself a good deal on like the Relinquish cards, I honestly get them. It's a really fun casual deck to play. It's like you just have to make your card choices like defining, make sure that every card you play has a point or has like some relevancy in the deck, and I feel like this deck really does. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you saw the video, think about joining the Tier 0 family. I'd love to have you. For the most part, my name is Sesma. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. But one final thing I really want to recommend before I end this video is this is a going second deck, because you want to Kaiju your opponent. You want to be able to go second to take an opponent's monster, but having the Illusionist really makes it a lot easier to go first because you can disrupt your opponent that way. That's one of the downsides Relinquished have. But yeah, again, I just really want to recommend this is a going second deck, because you want to be able to like use all the cards best for going second. You want to be able to bait everything out and basically do your things like that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching.